Thank you. My name's Joshua Collins, and I'm the founder of the Facebook group Homeless Advocates for Christ, as many of you already know. First of all, I'd just like to thank you, Mayor Tom Tate, just for allowing us to have that meeting regarding the homeless. It was really fruitful, and I would just like to maybe talk a little bit about that meeting. If you'd like, I can send you the video too. Take a video of it that might interest you, but basically, one of the main issues that came up in that meeting was that there's a lot of mentally ill people on the streets, and sometimes the police and others don't know exactly how to handle it. And I started doing some research on mental illness, and this is something I read in the New York Times actually, and it's an April 1st, 2014 article. And the title of it was confronting the police confront rising number of mentally ill suspects. And one of the things it says is half the people killed by police have mental illness. This is a report by the Treatment Advocacy Center and the National Sheriff's Association. And also New Mexico Public Defender Department, 75% of those shot in 2010 and 2011 suffered from mental illness. So, and basically what they're saying is this is an increasing problem ever since they cut back on mental health services in the 60s and so on. So, and I understand some of the police, they basically look at that issue as not their job, and that the psychiatric social workers should deal with that. But this article basically explains that the police are basically the front lines, and they're going to deal with that, on a daily basis. They have to run into that. So really, they should be trained in it. And that's kind of something that I'm hoping to maybe eventually help make that happen. But there's one of my friends, he's a mental ill too. He's still in jail for basically telling somebody's going to kill him, but he never kills anybody. But he runs off at the mouth sometimes and says silly stuff. But he's mentally ill. But he's still in jail. While another guy I know said something similar. He's already out of jail. He was only in jail like a day or two. So I don't understand, I guess, sometimes why that's happening. But if we had a mental health center to maybe send people to that place, because a lot of the police already know that this guy's mentally ill, right? But he's been in jail for months. So I think that not all police know how to handle it, and possibly I'd like to see that training for police for all of them. It really needs to be all of our problem. Like it says that someone says it's not our job, but if we could maybe expand the job description, because we all need to know how to deal with that issue. Because that's a major issue now in society today. And I just wanted to, I guess, ask you also, what are your ideas as far as how to better deal with this issue? Because a lot of them on the streets, they're homeless, and it's a shame really that we can't provide something for them. So if you have anything to say on that issue, I'd love to hear it. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. As you know, this is public comment portion, and appreciate your thoughts, and we'll contemplate them. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Council. My name is Louis Noble, and I'm an advocate for the homeless and their civil rights. And first of all, I want to thank you, Mayor, and Terry Lowe for setting the meeting so that we were able to be more informed of what you are doing regarding the homeless situation, and that we came together with church missions, which are helping the homeless with food, clothing, and with City Net, who has put some of the homeless in homes. And also to hear the side of the police. Their problems we're facing with enforcing the laws that I have to say that they're practically unconstitutional, because they do infringe on the homeless rights to rest and sleep at night. Now, people know that the homeless are still part of the city, and that some of them are veterans, people who lost their jobs and no longer receiving unemployment, people who lost their homes, people who are disabled or mentally ill. And yes, there are those that are drug addicts and alcoholics, but know that there are drug addicts and alcoholics who are fortunate enough to have jobs and homes. We can't sweep them off to another city and that has the same problem, just because some businesses and communities don't want them in their front yard and oppose the shelters because they think that it would attract crime or devaluate their homes. Now, these people need to be educated that shelters will not only take the homeless out of the streets, but would give them, would actually decrease crime in the streets, and it would give them showers and bathrooms that they could use instead of urinating in the streets. And then we would have cleaner streets too. And the city would actually save money on resources like thousands of calls that get called to the police department to get the police to chase them, out of the businesses, the yard, for people's front yards, parks at night that, they can't even sleep in. There are criminals that prey on homeless, and homeless girls sometimes get prostituted by them. And, you will save money on ER visits, and it's been proven through Utah, which has done just that, built shelters and given them homes. But I'm
sorry, Mr. Noble, your time's up.
I just got to say thank you again for that meeting. It was really positive, and hope we do get the committee together again.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you for participating in the First Amendment right that we all have to redress the government for grievances and to do that free of retaliation. The reason I'm here tonight is also to thank the mayor for setting up a meeting with Terry Lowe last Thursday. It was a meeting that was beyond hope, that was beyond anything I could have hoped for and anticipated. The number of city officials who participated, who attended, who were enthusiastic, and not just enthusiastic about presenting the programs, but just in a good, positive nature. A very positive meeting. I'm very appreciative for that. One of the most important kind of closing ideas of the meeting was that everybody deserves representation. And the reason I'm here tonight, one of my most important goals here is to get the recordings, the digital recordings, and when we have the video, that those are done. And put some bite into that. Either require that the officer's pay is tied to that at the end of the day. If he doesn't return in a recording, he doesn't get paid for the day. And especially a resisting arrest charge. Mine's really tenuous and it's really expensive, and I'm paying a lot of tax without any representation. For some reason, every time I file a complaint, I receive anonymous, threatening, and intimidating text messages. The day the complaint hit the Internal Affairs, I received 500 text messages that evening. Didn't identify himself, but the content, in a sense, alluded to who the individual was, that it was the officer who had attacked me and arrested me. Up until 2 or 3 days ago, I continue to get messages about the case. They're very derogatory. If you're Jewish or Polish, you don't want to hear what he thinks about you. And that's a blanket. All Jews, all Polish people, refers to them with the N-word. I filed complaints with the city police department, 4 or 5, and got nothing, just basically dismissed. When I contact the internal affairs officers, they don't know who Kelly Thomas is. So if somebody says an officer threatened to do the same thing that they did to Kelly Thomas, the internal affairs officers have no idea what that means. The internal affairs officers don't know that the officers are required to have recordings. The decisions they're going to make are not going to follow the law. So I'm asking, when will some bite be put into the requirement for the recordings?
So this is a public comment portion, not questions, but I'll ask our staff to look into your statements that you made and get back to us.
Can I ask you your name, since you never...
Oh, I apologize. Very humble. Forgive me. My name is Brian. Last name is K-A-Y-E. I'll email you this in the next day or two.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
And what's going on Anna Drive. Yesenia Rojas is a longtime resident and community leader on Anna Drive. Anna Drive is a location where Manuel Diaz was murdered by Nick Benelek, an Anaheim officer, in 2012. Following Manuel Diaz's murder, the community rose up in questioning the police for what they had done to Manuel Diaz. The police responded with rubber bullets. The police also accidentally let a police dog out onto the community where there were children everywhere. Yesenia Rojas and her family live on Anna Drive. Yesenia Rojas' daughter witnessed Manuel Diaz's death, witnessed Nick Benelek shoot Manuel Diaz in the back, which, by the way, a federal court did prove that there was no weapon on Manuel Diaz. No weapon. He was unarmed and shot in the back. The entire community on Anna Drive witnessed this, including children. This was in 2012. Yesenia Rojas' son was bitten by that canine that was let loose on the neighborhood of Anna Drive. Yesenia Rojas was hit by one of those rubber bullets. Yesenia, in spite of all of that, Yesenia Rojas has stood her ground and continued to put out efforts to make her community better and stronger. Because we all know, or we shouldn't forget, that a strong community makes police obsolete. Right? Well, in September, Yesenia Rojas was charged with 2 charges of interfering with a police investigation. This investigation was not an investigation. These officers entered into Anna Drive and were literally kidnapping 2 members of their neighborhood. The entire neighborhood is still the same neighborhood that witnessed Manuel Diaz being murdered. The same neighborhood that bullets were flying around by the Anaheim Police Department. The same neighborhood that is injuncted and terrorized by the Anaheim Police Department every day. This neighborhood, Anna Drive. Yesenia Rojas is a community leader. The entire community on Anna Drive looks up to her. In the police report, an Anaheim officer stated that Yesenia Rojas was inciting a riot during this incident. I personally have viewed these videos of Yesenia Rojas supposedly inciting a riot. She was doing nothing more but trying to calm her community. Calm her community who were witnessing police officers that they didn't know whether or not these police officers were Nick Benelek or not. The same officer who murdered Manuel Diaz in 2012.
Miss Renee, I'm sorry.
This neighborhood is volatile, and arresting the community leader is an atrocity. And every single one of you should be there in court for Yesenia. Every one of you.
Thank you.